Hi everyone, today I want to share a new stamp set called Hippo Happiness. It is super cute and has a lot of details. So I thought I would do a video so that you can see all the little details in this set and not miss a thing. One of the great things is that it's a bundle and the dies for this are amazing. And I really wanted to point them out because they truly are amazing. Normally you get dies that cut out the images, and you do get that. There is a die for the hippo and the unicorn and the little lamb with the ewe and the balloon and the flower and the bow, and all the little details do have dies. But there are these amazing label dies. You can call these medallion dies, label dies, however you want to call them. They're just awesome for every stamp set you own. And this one in particular is great because it's got, actually both of these have stitching detail. You can make a nice little window with these and use an acetate sheet, make a pretty shaker card. This is great for layering different colors of cardstock and then, you know, adding a sentiment. And so it's just a really pretty awesome die collection. And I thought, wow, you get all these extra layering pieces with this hippo, and so the hippo is really cute, but these dies are amazing, and I'm going to use these dies over and over again with just about every stamp set I own. I think they're so universal is basically what I'm trying to say. It's a cute little thing here, a little wiggle that could be nice for some edging. And then there's these two little dies, and what is that? Well, those are little slots for maybe a ribbon, or even if you're doing a pull situation, you need a little slot. So it could be a ribbon slide or a slot for a pull tab. So this is really a fun little thing. You get two of them, so you can do a ribbon slide on both sides, which is what they show in the catalog sample. So it's just a really unique die set. I think it's pretty great. Like another thing about it is that when you're going to use the flowers, for example, which we all like to use flowers, you know, you're never going to use just one. You're going to use a lot of flowers, and so they've made the dies, they've put 3 flower dies in here and 2 of the little leaf, so that way you can do a bunch at once, which is nice. I wish they had done that with the balloon because there's only one balloon, but that's okay. He's a little bigger and a little easier to punch out. So the flowers is nice that they did that for us. And anyway, I just really wanted you to see these dies, the ribbon slide and these big medallion and labels and the stitching detail. Fantastic. So you're going to use this with every stamp set, but it does come bundled with Hippo Happiness. So I wanted to show a couple cute things with Hippo Happiness. One of the things is that you've got lots of little stamps. I wanted to point that out. Itty bitty little smiley face that you can use on different things, but here it's for the butterfly. And this little dotted line for where the butterfly has flown. A little bow can be added to any of the animals, and they all have little faces. They're all separate. So this is kind of a two-step stamp. You're going to use the background stamp and then another detailed stamp on top to get 2 different tones on your hippo or your unicorn or your lamb or your ewe. And then you're going to add the face, so it's more of a 3-step stamp really, because you have a background, a top layer, and a face. So it's a 3-step stamp. And you also have cute little sayings that go with each of the animals. So there are several for the hippo and several for, there's even one for the butterfly. And then you've got a couple for the little lamb, and then you've got one for the unicorn. So it's really cute. When in doubt, be a unicorn. So it's a real cute little stamp set, real cute for kids or anyone really. You can make a tiny little thank you or a big, you know, something with all the animals in a scene. So it's really cute. And I wanted to show you a couple that I came up with really quick. The first one was this hippo. I really liked this paper here that I'm using, so I wanted to bring the two together. I was thinking fun and kids and bright colors, so that's where I went. And there's a new paper called Artistry Blooms, and it is full of bright, and I love this kind of light to dark. And then on the back you've got these pinks and mango on there, and then this is really fun, and I like this one a lot too. This was my favorite sheet. I've used a lot of this already. So this side is really great, and this side is really fun. My daughter really liked this one. She wanted it in the blues. Then we've got this one. I think I showed you that one. Here's a green and yellow, and there's all kinds of colors in this. It's got Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, it's got some Mango Madness, or Mango Melody, and Magenta Madness, and some gorgeous grape. There's Night of Navy, a lot of colors, so you can really use this with things you already own. Here's the back of that. Okay, we did this one. Here's a fun one. That one's cool. So you're going to get a lot of use out of this one. She liked this one, the blues. Yeah. And here's a pretty background for that. So anyway, it's a really fun stamp set. It's bright and bold, and you can use it on kid cards, but also any adult cards as well. Really fun colors. So here we've got the hippo. I want to show you that with the background. And then I've added some kind of fun tie-dye looking ribbon that I thought was fun. It kind of went with the way the paper was painted. So I'm going to show you how to do this little ribbon and put together a card in a minute. So I want to show you hippo, and then we've got the unicorn here. That's really fun. Another tie-dye ribbon. And then I did one with the little lamb. They're kind of the same layout. So I thought I'd show you a layout, and then you can use it for just about anything. And cute little unicorn and those little flowers. Like I said, see how you punch out a ton of them. So let's put together a card, and they're all the same layout, so I thought I would do the unicorn. I need a couple little girl cards, so we're going to do a unicorn, and I will show you what I'm using. I've got a base in Magenta Madness, and then I've cut the designer series paper by 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go here. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. Sometimes things need to be wrapped around and layered, but this can go straight down, so I'm going to do that. This paper is so pretty, it's hard to decide what side to use, really. And then I've cut out already some of these labels from that die set, and as you can see, I've cut them out missing the top piece. So I just layered them on my die cut platform. I just kind of layered them where the paper was hanging off here, so I only cut the bottom bit like that, and those can get layered. Out. I got the brand new snail, the brand new adhesive. They're calling it Stampin' Seal, and I got some, but I haven't opened it yet. I've got a little bit left on my older version. I don't know if you saw that. Stampin' Up came out with some new adhesives. Very fun. I'll probably be showing those soon. Alright, so we've got our base here, and that's what we're going to do here with the basics, and now we'll do our stamping. So I've got a little scrap piece. Now, like I said, this is a 3-step stamp, so we're going to go with, where's my little face? Here we go. Now I'm going to stamp in Magenta Madness. You can layer different colors, which could be fun. You can do the unicorn in 2 different colors. I'm going to do all one color, but different tones of that color. And some people like to start, I think there's no right or wrong. People can say that, you start with the full background image and then add the top layer. You can start with the top layer and add. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think you have to kind of do what works for you. And for some reason, lining it up works better for me if I do the little image first. I don't know why. So I'm going to do that in the full strength Magenta Madness. Now when you're putting this down, you might think you have room here, but you don't, because there's a tail. So remember, this is 2 steps, so you've got to have room for both pieces. So I'm going to put it up here. Okay. And then I'm going to ink up the other one, but this time I'm not going to go full strength on top. I'm going to go off to the side and get some of that ink off, and then I'm going to line it up. And I hope my head doesn't get in the way here, because I'm going to come really close. I want to make sure I line it up. And you have to line up a few things on this unicorn. He's the hardest one. The lamb was the easiest one. And the unicorn is the hardest, because you have to look at the hooves and the tail and his nose and the ears all at once. Let's see how I did. Oh, I did it. Yay. Okay, so now I've got my 2-tone little unicorn. And he's not really a unicorn yet. Right now he's a horse. You have to turn him into a unicorn by adding his little horn. So we'll do that in a minute. Let me add his face. And I did that in basic gray. Now his eyes are closed. You're getting eyelids. And this is another thing you have to look at lining up. You're going to kind of line up his nostrils right there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, it's not as hard as it looks. I get nervous when I do these 2-step, 3-step stamps, but it's actually, they're clear stamps, which is nice. So it's not as hard as it looks. Oops, I wanted him half strength. There we go. Okay. Now there is a die for this horn, and I am not going to use it. It's just so tiny and it's such an easy shape to cut out. So I'm not going to use that. But there is one like that. So see, that's going to work like that. And now we're going to stamp some flowers. And I'm going to do those in Magenta Madness. And I'm going to go full strength Magenta Madness. And then stamp another flower at a slightly lesser strength, and that's going to give me those different tones that are in the background of the paper. So I've got to only ink it up one time. I'm going to go full strength and then off like that. And then I'm going to use Mango Melody. Okay. Do a couple in that. Can I fit another one? Not sure. Yes. Okay. I am going to cut these out and be right back. Okay, I've got all my little pieces over here. And I'm going to make my little when in doubt be a unicorn sentiment piece first and put that down before I start layering things on top here. So I wanted to do that on the Mango Melody. I wanted to bring some more of that in. And so you can stamp it in like a black or a gray, but I thought it would be fun to emboss. So I am using Versamark ink, which is like a sticky ink if you're not familiar with it. It's sticky and clear. And you put it down, and then shake some embossing powder on top. I'm using white. And it's hard to see on here, but then when I heat it up, you'll see. I don't know if I got the N. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there it is embossed. Now you can see it a lot better. Okay, I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller. I want it to be 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to use the triple banner punch to flag the ends of my little piece here. So I used a Sharpie marker. This has markings for 1 inch, 1.5, and 2 inches. And that's great, but sometimes you want it to be smaller. So I like to use this to make a nice even cut, but I've marked it for 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch with a Sharpie. And so that way I can line this up on the back using those markers. I need a little bit more off that end. There. Okay. Now we can start layering things. So I wanted to have this pop up a little bit, and so I put dimensionals on the back. There we go. And knew where I wanted my unicorn to go, but first I wanted to add a little bit of petals, or not petals, leaves to my flower. So I've got that teeny tiny little leaf stamp. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, which is a bright green. It's kind of nice to use with these bright colors. And I'm just going to add a couple leaves here. Now it's hard to know exactly where they're going to go. You could lay it out and look at it in a minute and see, you know, lay out your flowers and see where you think they're going to fall. I made one already, so I kind of have an idea of where they're going to fall. And you can put your flowers intentionally by those. Okay, now I'm going to just start layering. I want my unicorn popped up, so he's going to go on dimensionals. And then I used a little glue dot to stick, actually just a little bit of, a dot of glue I should say, not a glue dot, on the back of the horn, and then I just slipped it behind, like so. Okay, and then as far as the flowers go, you just start putting those down. Okay, we're almost done. Now I just want to make that little tie-dye ribbon. So for that, I'm using this crinkle seam binding ribbon. I like seam binding ribbon for this because it is very thin. The color goes right through, and so it's perfect for this type of technique. Now you can use your markers, your Stampin' Write markers, or you can also use, a little bit of the blue left over from the Hippo. There we go. You can also use your Stampin' Blends. Both of them will work for this because the ribbon is so thin, and the regular Stampin' Write markers will work, but the Stampin' Blends do give a richer color. So I'm going to go with the Stampin' Blends. Now, I ordered the new in color Stampin' Blends, but they haven't arrived yet. So I don't have Mango Madness, but I do have Lovely Lipstick, which is a retired color. So I grabbed that. And I have some Flirty Flamingo, and then I do have Mango Melody. So I'm going to use those on my ribbon. And so for this, you just have to kind of know how much ribbon you need. So I just kind of do a mock. I don't like to make too much because I don't want to waste my ribbon. So I know how much I kind of need here. And then I just lay it flat and just kind of work in little areas. I want to add a little bit of color from each of the colors here. So we're not really tie-dyeing. Now you can dip this in ink refills. You can color your ribbon lots of ways. This is the least messy of the ways, I think. And so I like to do this. But there are other fun ways to add color, and you can decide what you want to do here. So this is like faux tie-dye. So there's no dyeing, there's just coloring. Want to go back over again and again to get some deeper colors. You can decide how much you want to do. I think that's good. I like the lights and darks on this. And for this card, I just tied a bow. Sometimes you can wrap it around something. And for that, I just used a glue dot corner. And then I wanted to do the inside a little bit. Now, whenever I cut card fronts and I use that 4 by 5 1/4 measurement, you always end up with a strip of cardstock at the end. So I saved those, and it's a little bigger. I cut it in half, and I used it on both cards. So I put one inside here, and I put the other one, I'm going to put it in here. So for my inside, I like to do the inside. I like to add this little strip of matching paper, and then I'm going to add something from the front. So I had cut out a lot of these little flowers because I wasn't sure how many I was going to use. And so I have a lot of these. I must have used all the darker ones, or I lost them. They're small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a few more of those little petals, or leaves. I keep calling them petals. Leaves. And I want to put a couple in the top corner. And a couple in the bottom. Maybe just one up there. Now I want to add some darker ones. I could cut some more, but instead I'm going to stamp the darker ones. So I don't want to cut any more flowers. Alright, there's my inside. So I've got When in Doubt, Be a Unicorn. Super cute. I hope you like it. Here is the little lamb and the hippo. Oh, I should tell you, these are the new artisan sequins. They have adhesive on the back, really fun colors. Those are really bright too. All these really bright things can be found in the new catalog. I hope that you check it out. I've got links to the new catalog on my blog, and if you need one, let me know. And also check out those dies. I think they're fantastic. Here you go. Where'd my unicorn go? Should put him back. I think the dies on this are just fantastic, so I think you should definitely check them out. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.